Alright, picture this for a second. You've got a sleek single-engine jet, right? Now imagine this same jet costs less than a fourth of what an F-35 would set you back. Sounds like a fantasy, doesn't it? But here's the kicker. In just the last 6 years, this very aircraft has not only taken down a seasoned MiG-21, but also splashed an Iranian spy drone. And get this. In May 2025, it went toe-to-toe with India's much-hyped Rafales, traded blows, and came home with absolutely zero losses. No, that's not a typo, and no, your eyes aren't deceiving you. That, my friends, is the JF17 Thunder. And today we're going to peel back the layers and unpack exactly why Pakistan doesn't just like it, but genuinely calls it the absolute crown jewel of its Air Force. It's a story of underdog triumphs, clever engineering, and a strategic vision that's often underestimated. Thesis and roadmap now. Let's get one thing straight from the jump. I'm not here to sell you some nationalistic fantasy or government-sponsored propaganda. That's just not my style. What I am here to do is lay out the cold, hard numbers, dissect its undeniable combat record, and break down the ingenious tech that has quietly, almost stealthily, transformed what many initially dismissed as a budget fighter into arguably the most potent, most strategically valuable jet sitting in Pakistan's hangars today. We're talking about a true dark horse in the world of modern air combat. So buckle up, because we're going to cover some serious ground. First, we'll dive into how this entire program kicked off as little more than a desperate gamble, born out of necessity, and ultimately evolved into a masterclass in achieving high-tech capabilities on a shoestring budget. It's a testament to what focused innovation can achieve. Then, we'll get up close and personal with the Block 3 variant, specifically its cutting-edge AESA radar, the formidable PL-15 missiles, and all those intricate little details that honestly make some fourth-generation plus jets blush with envy. This isn't just about shiny new toys. It's about integrated systems that deliver real-world advantages. Next, we're not just talking theory. We're going to look at its real-world shoot-downs and dissect some exercise-kill ratios that, for some reason, never quite managed to trend on Twitter. These are the moments where rubber meets the road, and the JF17 has consistently proven its mettle. And finally, we'll explore why, when you break it down dollar for dollar, there isn't another aircraft in the entirety of South Asia that can match the sheer, unadulterated punch this jet delivers. It's a powerful argument for smart spending over lavish expenditure. Birth of the Thunder. Let's rewind a bit, back to 1998. The situation for Pakistan's Air Force wasn't just challenging. It was verging on critical. Their venerable Mirage 3s, while iconic, were frankly older than most of the pilots strapping into them. Their airframes groaning under decades of service, and their prized F-16 fleet, well, that was severely hampered, almost throttled by a relentless barrage of sanctions from Washington. Imagine having your most advanced assets essentially grounded or operating at a fraction of their potential because someone else controls the spare parts and upgrades. Pakistan was in a bind, and it was clear. Islamabad desperately needed something it could truly call its own, an aircraft it could actually build, upgrade, and operate locally, free from the capricious whims and political leverage of foreign powers. Enter China, a long-standing strategic partner. This wasn't just a casual collaboration, it was a strategic imperative. By 2003, the two nations had spun up a truly ambitious 50-50 joint venture, bringing together Pakistan Aeronautical Complex, PAC, and China's Chengdu Aircraft Corp, CAC. The initial goal, believe it or not, was incredibly humble, almost self-deprecating, essentially to clone a MiG-21 and slap on a bigger nose. They wanted a simple, robust and affordable fighter, something to just fill the gaps. But what they ended up creating was anything but humble. The project moved at an astonishing pace, especially for military aviation. The first flight of the JF-17 prototype came in 2003, a remarkably quick turnaround. The Pakistan Air Force, PAF, formed its inaugural squadron just 7 years later in 2010, signaling its confidence in the new platform. And by 2017, the jet wasn't just flying. It was already firing live shots in anger, proving its combat readiness. Now let's talk numbers, the kind that really make you sit up and take notice. The total program cost, from the initial sketches on a whiteboard to fully operational squadrons, came in at under $500 million. Let that sink in for a moment. To put that figure into stark perspective, that's roughly what the French government charged Egypt for a mere 4 Rafale fighter jets. So for the price of 4 high-end Western fighters, Pakistan got an entire domestic fighter program, from R&D to production, leading to dozens of operational aircraft. That's not just cost-effective. That's a paradigm shift in military procurement. It demonstrated a shrewd understanding of geopolitical realities and the power of strategic self-reliance. This wasn't just about building a plane. It was about building sovereignty. Follow the money in military aviation, especially for nations with finite budgets. Cost isn't just a line item. It's a strategic determinant. It dictates everything, from how many aircraft you can actually afford to purchase to how many you can realistically keep flying, and ultimately, how many you can deploy in a conflict. A Block 3 JF17 fresh off the production line at Kamra, Pakistan, rolls out for roughly $32 million, flyaway. Now let's compare that to some of its regional counterparts. And Su-30 MKI, India's primary heavy fighter, sets them back around $62 million. And a Rafale M, the pride of the Indian Navy and Air Force, touches an eye-watering $110 million. What does this stark difference in price tags really mean in the cold, hard math of aerial warfare? It means Pakistan can field roughly 3 JF-17s for every single Rafale that India buys. And in air combat, particularly in a sustained conflict, numbers absolutely still matter. More jets don't just mean more aircraft. They translate directly into more sorties per day, which means more presence in the air, more response capability, and a greater ability to project power. More jets also mean more redundancy. If one goes down, you have others to take its place without crippling your operational capacity. And perhaps most critically, a greater quantity of aircraft allows for the saturation of enemy air defense tracks. Imagine dozens of JF-17s appearing on radar screens simultaneously. It complicates targeting, overloads enemy systems, and creates vital windows of opportunity. Furthermore, the affordability of the JF-17 carries a grim but decisive advantage in a prolonged conflict. You can afford to lose a few without completely bankrupting the national treasury, or suffering an irreparable blow to your Air Force's strength. While no nation ever wants to lose an aircraft or a pilot, the reality of warfare means attrition is a factor. Being able to absorb those losses and continue fighting is a strategic asset in itself. This isn't just about the upfront purchase price either. The JF-17 benefits from lower operating costs, cheaper spare parts, many of which are locally produced or sourced from China, circumventing Western export controls, and simpler maintenance procedures compared to its more complex Western or Russian counterparts. This translates into higher sortie rates, better availability, and ultimately a more sustainable fighting force over the long haul. It's a holistic approach to air power that prioritizes practical, sustainable capability over flashy, high-cost prestige. Block 3. Brain transplant. All right. Let's get serious and dive inside the nose of this beast, because this is where the Block 3 truly flexes its muscles. We're talking about the JF17 AESA radar. This isn't just any radar. It packs roughly 1,000 transmit-receive modules, which are essentially tiny independent radars working in concert. What does that mean for performance? Well, it gives you a formidable detection range of about 170 kilometers against a 3 square meter target, which is roughly the radar cross-section of a typical fighter jet. But it's not just about seeing far. It's about seeing smart. This radar can simultaneously track up to 15 targets while actively engaging and firing on 4 of them. That's multi-target capability that was once the exclusive domain of top-tier Western fighters. Now, is it absolutely top of the class compared to, say, the cutting-edge APG-83 found on a brand-new F-16V? Honestly, no, the F-16V's radar might see a bit further and have more processing power. But here's the absolute kicker, the real game-changer. The JF17 weighs a remarkable 65 kilograms less than the old mechanically scanned radar it replaces. It also draws a staggering 40% less power from the aircraft systems, freeing up precious electrical capacity for other avionics. And this is the part that truly impresses. It can be swapped out in a mere 45 minutes on a forward operating ramp. Think about that for a second. In a high-intensity conflict, with an S-400 air defense system potentially breathing down your neck, the ability to quickly repair, upgrade, or replace critical components like a radar is priceless. You can't do that with a complex, deeply integrated Western system. But the upgrades don't stop at the radar. The Block 3 has undergone a complete cockpit transformation. They've added a state-of-the-art helmet-mounted sight, HMS, and a wide-angle holographic head-up display, QD. What this means is that the pilot's situational awareness has gone through the roof. You've basically taken a cockpit that was, let's be honest, rooted in 1980s design philosophy, and turned it into a hyper-modern 4.5 generation office. The HMS in particular is a revelation. The pilot can now cue an off-boresight PL-10E missile, one of the most agile short-range air-to-air missiles out there, simply by looking over their shoulder. No more maneuvering the aircraft to get a radar lock on a target that's not directly in front of you. You see it, you look at it, you shoot it. That capability alone is a massive advantage in a close-quarters dogfight, blurring the lines between what's possible and what's perceived as impossible. It's about empowering the pilot to react instinctively and lethally. The heartbeat. Every fighter jet needs a powerful heart. And for the JF17, that comes in the form of the Russian Klimov RD-93MA engine. This beast pushes out a respectable 19,000 pounds of wet thrust. That's with the afterburner engaged, giving it that extra kick when it really counts. Now detractors, often those unfamiliar with its combat record, might point out that it can be a bit smoky, but ask any pilot who's flown it, and they'll tell you the same thing: it's incredibly reliable. In the high-stakes world of air combat, reliability often trumps raw, unproven power. This engine hits full afterburner in a blistering 3.5 seconds, providing rapid acceleration when you need to get out of trouble or get on target fast. And here's a testament to its robust design. It's built to swallow a goose without surging. Yes, you heard that right. Bird strikes are a constant threat to aircraft, and an engine that can take that kind of impact and keep running is a massive safety and operational advantage. A significant part of the JF17's aerodynamic and stealth light profile comes from its diverterless supersonic inlet, DSI. This isn't just a fancy piece of engineering, it's a carbon fiber work of art, and it plays a crucial role in the aircraft's performance. Unlike traditional inlets that require complex, heavy moving parts to manage airflow at different speeds, the DSI uses a fixed bump and carefully sculpted contours to efficiently channel air to the engine across its entire flight envelope. This genius design chops the aircraft's frontal radar cross-section, RCS, by a claimed 60%. Let's be clear, the JF-17 isn't a stealth fighter in the F-22 or F-35 league, but this reduction in RCS is incredibly significant. It shrinks the detection range enough that, for example, a Su-30's radar would see you 30 kilometers later than it otherwise would. In the brutal, unforgiving world of beyond visual range BVR combat, where missiles fly faster than sound and reaction time is measured in milliseconds, those 30 kilometers are not just a distance. They are life or death. They represent precious seconds for a pilot to react, to maneuver, to launch countermeasures, or to fire first. It's a subtle advantage, but one that can swing the balance of an engagement. This thoughtful integration of engine and airframe design is a prime example of the JF-17's intelligent approach to combat effectiveness. The claws when it comes to weapons, the JF-17 truly punches well above its financial weight class. It's a testament to the philosophy that it's not just the platform, but what you strap onto it that defines its lethality. With 8 robust hardpoints, this jet can lug a formidable 8,000 pounds of ordnance, giving its pilots a versatile toolkit for any mission profile. Let's talk about its long-range reach. First up, the PL-15E. This is China's unequivocal answer to the American AMRAAM-120D, and it's a serious piece of kit. With a quoted reach of 145 kilometers and an active ESA seeker, this missile isn't just long-ranged. It's smart. Its active radar means it can guide itself to the target in the terminal phase, freeing up the launch aircraft to break lock or engage other threats. This BVR capability is absolutely critical for modern air combat, allowing the JF-17 to engage targets well before they even come into visual range. Then, for those close-in knife fight scenarios, you've got the PL-10E. This is an imaging infrared dogfight missile, and it's a marvel of agility. It can pull an astonishing 60 Gs, meaning it can turn on a dime, and it boasts a remarkable 90-degree off-bore sight capability. Remember that helmet-mounted sight we talked about? Combine that with the PL-10E, and a JF-17 pilot can simply look at an enemy jet almost directly to their side and fire a missile that will go chase it down. This makes it incredibly dangerous in a close-quarters engagement, truly living up to the phone booth fight description. For naval deterrence, the JF-17 carries the Ki-802AK anti-ship missile. This weapon is designed to keep any potential adversaries' carrier groups or surface fleets honest. It's a potent sea-skimming cruise missile that can deliver a significant punch to large naval vessels, projecting Pakistan's power far beyond its coastline and adding a crucial layer to its defensive capabilities. Precision ground strike? No problem. The JF-17 is equipped with LS-6 glide bombs. These aren't just dumb bombs. They're smart standoff weapons with a range of 60 kilometers. Guided by satellite and inertial navigation systems, these bombs carry a 250-pound warhead and boast an accuracy of 5 meters. This means a JF-17 can hit high-value targets with pinpoint precision from a safe distance, minimizing risk to the aircraft and pilot. And finally, because sometimes all the high-tech wizardry fails, or you just need to make a point up close and personal, there's the venerable Tommy 23-meter twin-barrel GSH-23 cannon with 220 rounds. As the saying goes, sometimes the phone stops ringing, and you still need to talk. A cannon remains an essential tool for air-to-air combat, strafing runs, and a last line of defense. What's truly remarkable about the JF-17's arsenal is the speed of integration. PAC Flight tested the PL-15E from a mere software drop to a live launch in under 10 months. Think about the implications of that. For context, the mighty U.S. Air Force took a staggering 8 years to fully integrate the AIM-120D into its F-35 fleet. This rapid integration cycle means the JF-17 can quickly incorporate the latest advancements in weaponry, staying agile and responsive to evolving threats, a capability that even much larger, wealthier air forces struggle to match. It's a testament to efficient, focused engineering. Combat resume numbers on a slick PowerPoint slide are one thing. Actual bullet holes and confirmed kills are quite another. The JF-17 isn't just a theoretical marvel. It has a growing, verifiable combat resume that speaks volumes about its effectiveness. Let's start in 2017. A Block II JF-17 achieved its first aerial kill, shooting down an Iranian Saighe drone that had brazenly strayed 45 kilometers into Pakistani airspace. This wasn't just a technical achievement. It was a clear demonstration of the platform's readiness and the PAF's capability to defend its sovereignty. It sent a powerful message. Don't cross this line. Then, on the fateful day of 27 February 2019, the PAF launched Operation Swift Retort in response to Indian incursions. While much of the media attention focused on the F-16s, multiple JF-17s, operating in conjunction with their F-16 brethren, played a crucial, often overlooked role. They fired H-4 standoff bombs and AMRAAM C-5s, though the latter is often disputed regarding the JF-17's specific involvement in that engagement. Indian officials later confirmed that a MiG-21 Bison was indeed downed. While the official kill credit ultimately went to an F-16, debriefs and subsequent analyses clearly show that the JF-17s were instrumental in drawing away India's more advanced Su-30 MKIs. This diversion created the crucial angle of attack and the tactical chaos that allowed the F-16 to achieve its kill. It was a textbook example of synergistic air combat, where different assets worked together to achieve a common objective, and the JF-17 proved it could hold its own in a complex, high-stakes environment. Fast forward to May 2025, during a brief but intense flare-up between Pakistan and India. This time, the upgraded Block IIIs, armed with their formidable PL-15s, engaged Indian Rafales at ranges of up to 120 kilometers. Neither side predictably admitted to any losses. However, independent Indian sources, monitoring their own situation display and control SDAC network, logged at least 2 radar track drops on their Rafales. On the Pakistani side, spokesman quietly noted full mission success. You can translate that however you want, but the facts on the ground were telling. The JF-17s came home, the Rafales did not reappear on scope for some time, and the border tensions cooled considerably the very next morning. This encounter, subtle as the official statements might be, underscored the JF-17 Block III's ability to challenge and effectively neutralize even the most advanced aircraft in the region. Beyond actual combat, The JF-17 has also excelled in international exercises. Anatolian Eagle 2021. A major multinational air combat exercise hosted by Turkey. Even experienced Turkish F-16 pilots were highly impressed. They openly admitted that the JF-17's ASA radar gave them first look inside 40 nautical miles, a critical advantage in BVR engagements. And when it came to close-in fighting, they described the PL-10 missile as eye-watering in a phone booth fight, a strong endorsement of its agility and lethality. The simulated dogfight kill ratio during the exercise was 7-5 in Turkey's favor, which, while not a clean sweep, was incredibly close. It was close enough, in fact, that Ankara quietly asked PAC for a brochure, signaling a serious interest in potentially acquiring the aircraft. These exercises aren't just for show. They provide invaluable, unbiased assessments of a platform's capabilities, and the JF-17 consistently performs. The human factor, we often talk about machines winning fights, but the deeper truth is that cultures win wars. And this is where the JF-17 program truly shines with its unique human factor. Because the jet is largely indigenous, developed and manufactured locally, there's an incredibly direct and efficient feedback loop that simply doesn't exist for most other air forces. Every Pakistan Air Force engineer who turns a wrench on a JF-17 can literally walk across the factory floor and argue, collaborate, or provide direct feedback to the very designers who created the aircraft. This isn't some bureaucratic nightmare involving multiple layers of contractors, subcontractors, and international export regulations. The result? Feedback loops that are measured in weeks, not years. Think about the agility this provides. When PAF pilots, the actual operators on the front lines, identified a need for a bigger centerline fuel tank to free up precious wing stations for more weapons or specialized pods, PAC didn't just file it away for a decade. They had a 100-liter prototype flying in just 4 months. Can you imagine trying to get Lockheed Martin, Boeing, or Dassault to move that fast on a customer request? It's almost unthinkable in the Western defense industry, where modifications often involve years of studies, approvals, and budget allocations. This unparalleled responsiveness means the JF-17 isn't some generic off-the-shelf product. It's a jet that has been meticulously sculpted, refined, and optimized by the very combat pilots who fly it, responding directly to their experiences and requirements in the field. It's not a design dictated by a congressional committee's compromises or a marketing department's fantasies. It's a fighter designed by fighters, for fighters. One squadron commander reflecting on this unique advantage put it perfectly to me. It's like flying a cheat code. It's cheap enough that we can risk it, modern enough that we survive it, and responsive enough that it adapts to our needs faster than anything else out there. That quote encapsulates the strategic brilliance of the JF-17 program, an aircraft that integrates affordability, modernity, and adaptability into a potent combat package. It fosters a sense of ownership and pride among the pilots and ground crews, knowing that their input directly shapes the evolution of their most critical asset. This human-centric development model is a powerful, often underestimated force multiplier. The elephant in the hangar now, I can already hear the critics, the experts who cling to old metrics, raising their hands and saying, but it's still not an F-16. And you know what? They're absolutely right. If you compare raw headline-grabbing specifications, the JF-17 might not win every single category. Its top speed is Mach 1.6, for instance, not the Mach 2.0 plus of some high-end fighters. Its ferry range is around 2,000 kilometers, whereas an F-16 with conformal fuel tanks, CFTs, can stretch that to 4,000 kilometers. But here's the crucial counterpoint, the perspective that often gets lost in these superficial comparisons. Within the Pakistan Air Force's operational doctrine and strategic requirements, those limitations are perfectly acceptable. Pakistan doesn't need an aircraft that can strike the Andaman Islands or project power across entire oceans. What it does need critically is an aircraft that can dominate a roughly 500-kilometer radius around its borders. That's its primary area of operation, its vital national security zone. And the JF-17 doesn't just do that job, it excels at it, providing robust air defense, ground attack, and interdiction capabilities precisely where they are needed most. Perhaps even more importantly, the JF-17 is virtually sanction-proof. This is a massive strategic advantage that cannot be overstated. Islamabad can build, upgrade, and export this aircraft without needing permission or end-user certificates from Washington, Brussels, or any other major power. This freedom from external political leverage is priceless. It means Pakistan's Air Force capabilities are tied to its own strategic interests, not the fluctuating foreign policy of another nation. This autonomy extends to its export potential as well. The JF-17 isn't just serving Pakistan. It's becoming a popular choice for other nations looking for modern, capable, and affordable air power without the political strings attached. Nigeria, Myanmar, and Azerbaijan already operate squadrons of the Thunder, integrating it into their own defense structures, and the interest is growing. Iraq and Malaysia are actively circling, evaluating the JF-17 as a viable solution for their Air Force needs. Every exported airframe isn't just a sale. It's a subsidy for Pakistan's domestic fleet. These foreign sales help to drive down the unit cost for the PAF, creating economies of scale and further enhancing the program's financial viability. It means more resources can be poured back into R&D, into future upgrades, and into maintaining the existing fleet. This self-sustaining model is a powerful testament to the JF-17's strategic significance, proving that true power isn't just about what your aircraft can do, but what your nation can do with your aircraft. Future-proofing, the JF-17 program isn't resting on its laurels. While Block 3 production is slated to wrap up around 2026, the drawing boards are already buzzing with ideas for Block 4. This isn't just about incremental improvements. It's about ensuring the JF-17 remains a relevant and potent force well into the future, adapting to emerging threats and technologies. The rumored upgrades are genuinely exciting and showcase a forward-thinking approach. First on the list is a gallium nitride, GaN, AESA radar, which could potentially double the transmit-receive TR module count. Why is this a big deal? Gun technology offers superior power efficiency and thermal management, allowing for significantly more TR modules in the same space. Doubling the modules means a vastly more powerful radar, with increased detection range, better tracking capabilities, and enhanced electronic warfare resistance. It would be a generational leap in sensor performance. Next, we're talking about our internal IRST, infrared search and track sensor, tucked discreetly under the cockpit. An IRST system allows for passive, stealthy detection and tracking of enemy aircraft by their heat signatures, without emitting any radar waves that could give away the JF-17's position. This is a crucial capability for countering stealth aircraft and operating in a radar-denied environment, adding a vital layer of tactical advantage. There's also talk of pushing the engine's thrust to a more robust 21,000 pounds, likely via a Chinese WS-19 derivative. More thrust means better acceleration, improved climb rates, and greater maneuverability, enhancing the aircraft's kinematic performance and overall combat agility. Another exciting prospect is reducing the empty weight by a significant 400 kilograms through the innovative use of 3D-printed titanium ribs for the airframe. Additive manufacturing allows for complex lightweight structures that were previously impossible to create. This weight reduction would directly translate into better fuel efficiency, increased payload capacity, or improved performance metrics across the board. And perhaps the most futuristic rumor involves adding 2 more wing stations specifically for loyal wingman drones. This is where the JF-17 truly begins to bridge the gap into the next generation of air combat. Loyal wingman drones are AI-controlled unmanned aircraft that fly alongside a manned fighter, acting as scouts, decoys, sensor platforms, or even carrying additional weapons. Imagine a JF-17 leading a pack of these drones, vastly expanding its sensor reach, missile capacity, and tactical options without risking a human pilot. If even half of these ambitious plans survive the inevitable budget cuts and technical challenges, the JF-17 will comfortably stay relevant and highly effective well into the 2040s. This extended lifespan is incredibly important for a medium-income air force like Pakistan's, as it provides a crucial bridge into whatever sixth-generation world of air combat eventually emerges. It's a strategic investment in long-term air power. Bottom line math, so how do we really stack up most powerful when it comes to a fighter jet? If your definition of power is purely about raw kinematics, speed, altitude, and instantaneous turn rates, then by all means, go watch a video on the F-22 Raptor. It's an incredible machine, a marvel of engineering, but that's a very narrow, arguably outdated way of measuring true combat power. If, however, You define power as the aircraft that enables a medium-income air force to consistently field modern ASA radar capabilities, deploy cutting-edge beyond-visual-range missiles, deliver precision standoff glide bombs, execute effective anti-ship strikes, and boast a verifiable record of combat kills, all without having to beg the IMF for a bailout every time it needs an upgrade or a new squadron. Then the crown lands squarely, unequivocally on the JF17. Power isn't just about thrust-to-weight ratios on a spec sheet. It's about the holistic capability to show up where and when needed, to scare off potential adversaries with credible threats, to shoot straight when the moment of truth arrives, and critically, to have air power that meets national strategic needs. By that comprehensive scoreboard, nothing currently in Pakistan's inventory, or indeed in the regional context for its price point, even comes close to the strategic value and combat effectiveness of the JF-17 Thunder. It embodies a pragmatic, intelligent approach to air superiority in the 21st century. Conclusion: from its humble beginnings as a desperate stopgap measure, born out of necessity and geopolitical constraints, the JF-17 Thunder has evolved into nothing short of a regional kingmaker. Its journey is a powerful testament to a fundamental truth in military aviation. You absolutely do not need a money-printing machine to own the skies. What you do need are smart strategic partnerships, a ruthless focus on cost control, and the guts and agility to iterate and improve at an astonishing pace. It's not about being the absolute best fighter on the planet in every single metric, because for most nations that's an unattainable fantasy. Instead, it's about being the best fighter a nation can realistically afford to operate, maintain, and crucially afford to lose, if the unthinkable happens. And that, my friends, is precisely what makes it the most powerful jet sitting in Pakistan's hangar. So if India wants to try and outspend it with multi-billion-dollar acquisitions, let them. If other arms exporters want to try and undercut its value proposition, good luck to them. They'll find it a tough challenge. And if you're still clinging to the outdated notion that cheap equals weak in modern defense, well, I'm afraid history has already left you far behind. The JF-17 Thunder isn't just a fighter jet. It's a strategic statement, call to action. So what's your take? Do you buy into the math I've laid out? Or do you think I've been drinking a bit too much of the Kool-Aid? Drop your thoughts, your arguments, your insights, or even your disagreements down in the comments section below. The best argument just might get pinned. And if you're hungry for more hard numbers combat aviation breakdowns, do me a favor. Whack that like button, hit subscribe, and join our community. There's plenty more metal still waiting to be explored in the skies.